They called it the White Death, but the cold didn't need a rifle to kill. During World War II, entire armies froze beneath skies so clear and quiet they seemed to mock the suffering below. Temperatures on the Eastern Front often plunged below -30 degrees Celsius. Steel cracked, oil turned solid, and soldiers' boots froze to the ground before dawn. Frostbite chewed through flesh faster than bullets. Yet, somehow, amid that unimaginable chill, men survived nights that should have ended them. They didn't have high-tech gear or fancy thermal jackets. They had wool coats, thin blankets, and the kind of desperate ingenuity only war can breed. Their greatest weapon against the cold wasn't fire. It was snow itself. To the untrained eye, snow is death. Wet, cold, merciless. But the soldiers who endured the frozen hell of Russia and Finland discovered something counterintuitive. The snow could save you if you knew how to use it. They learned that the very substance that froze their fingers could, under the right conditions, trap heat. Fresh snow, packed and shaped carefully, became one of nature's most efficient insulators. It was a secret passed quietly among men who had no choice but to adapt or die. On nights when the wind howled like an animal and frost painted their rifles white, soldiers would dig. They'd carve into snowdrifts with helmets or shovels, working fast before exhaustion set in. What began as a shallow trench soon turned into a makeshift coffin-shaped shelter, just wide enough for one man. The snow walls, thick and dense, became barriers against the wind. The deeper they dug, the warmer it got. Not warm like a fire, not comfort, but survivable. Inside those snow burrows, breath hung in the air like mist, and frost formed on the roof, a silent sign that heat was being trapped within. The soldiers didn't need thermometers to know it was working. They could feel it in their fingers. Life returning where the cold had begun to steal it away. They lined the bottom with pine branches, hay, or scraps of cloth to avoid lying directly on the snow. Then they draped whatever they could find over the top, ponchos, tarps, even another layer of snow, leaving only a small breathing hole. It looked crude, almost primitive, but the result was astonishing. While the air outside bit through steel, the inside of a snow trench could remain around -1 degree. It wasn't comfort, but it was survival. What these soldiers had discovered, without even realizing it, was the simple science of heat transfer. You see, the air pockets trapped inside snow act as natural insulators, preventing warmth from escaping. Snow, ironically, does what most tents simply can't. It holds in heat while blocking the wind. Soldiers use their own bodies as heaters, turning every single breath into a lifeline. Each exhalation added a little bit of warmth, each layer of snow added a bit more protection. In time, some men even began to see a sort of beauty in it. The soft glow of moonlight bouncing off snow walls, the muffled silence that made the war outside feel a world away. In the forests of Finland, where the winter war raged between Finnish and Soviet troops, this method became, well, an art form. Finnish soldiers, true masters of the cold, built snow caves that could hold entire squads. They knew exactly how to carve air vents, how to block entrances with curved walls, and how to sleep packed close together for maximum warmth. Their survival rates in temperatures that killed unprepared Soviet soldiers were, honestly, astonishing. Knowledge was their armour. On the German side, men in the Ardennes and on the Eastern Front, well, they followed similar tactics. They learned from the land, from captured locals, and sometimes, honestly, from trial and error paid for with frostbitten fingers. You see, a soldier's first instinct in the snow was to build up a fire. But fires meant smoke, and smoke meant death by artillery. The snow shelters, on the other hand, offered both concealment and warmth. They were invisible from the sky, quiet and life-saving. The irony was brutal. The same snow that had swallowed men whole, that froze horses where they stood, became their shield. Soldiers began to understand that nature was not only an enemy to resist, but a force to work with. The smartest among them survived because they stopped fighting it. They dug in, adapted, and endured. When we watch grainy black and white footage of troops marching through snow, we see only the suffering. We don't see the quiet genius behind their survival. We don't see the soldier who, after a long day of fighting, digs into the earth, lines his trench with branches, and curls up beneath a sky full of frozen stars, praying that morning will come. But morning did come, again and again, because they understood something deeper than technology. Survival is not about strength alone. It's about understanding your enemy, even when that enemy is the cold itself. In an age obsessed with gadgets and gear, their story is a reminder that sometimes nature gives you everything you need, if you know how to listen. The snow, once feared as a killer, became their ally, their silent protector through the longest nights of war. And as they lay beneath its weight, wrapped in its frozen embrace, they proved something timeless. That knowledge, not equipment, is the truest weapon of survival.